What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Kajagoogoo, and we're back to complete the 1983 album White Feathers. Thank you again to Mr. Solo. And the final song is Frayo, or maybe Frayo, I'm not sure. It looks like a name. If it is a word that is not a proper noun, then I'm guessing it's a foreign word, and even then I would not be familiar with it. So yes, I don't quite know what to make of the title. I'll try to catch what I can. This is Kajagoogoo. The track is Frayo, or maybe Frayo, and it's the final tune on their 1983 album, White Feathers. That's funny. I actually thought like 5 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago, that it was going to begin to fade, but then it pulled most of the percussive rhythm out, and then we end on some funky bass, which is an element or an ingredient that was very notable throughout the song. So yeah, sonically, and indeed that section right before that final coda, which then ended properly, meaning not with a fade out, it was sort of a microcosm about what I was going to say of the tune overall, meaning it had this dynamic, energetic feel, lots of moving parts, but it was sort of stop-start. It had a very like syncopated, halting, and yet still driving kind of feel, if that makes sense. And there were several elements that felt like if they weren't fully arrhythmic, they were sort of outside the rhythm and structure of most of the sonics, meaning there were these almost discordant little streaks and touches along the way, and yet at the base of it all, it had a very funky sound, which I think is largely because of that bass. It had a bit of that slap bass sound to it, and it was a real energetic and funky bass line overall. And then lyrically, I'm intrigued because it feels like it's talking about a almost post-apocalyptic, maybe that's not the right word, like a sort of fascist future where we're hearing maybe the propaganda / enforcement arm like really enforcing equality and suggesting that if you go against that, if you speak up against that, then you might be in danger. I think Frayo is the... Was it Frayo or was it Fryo? Now I'm forgetting. I think it was Frayo. But like, we hear the title word, but I still don't quite know what that means. So if it is a specific reference, do let me know. If it's just a concept or a name that's used here, I'm still wondering exactly how it ties in with what I heard. But yes, it sounds like a futuristic, totalitarian governmental mouthpiece that again sounds like it's suggesting the benefits of what they're doing, but maybe with an undertone that again it's either their way or the highway. And indeed, the sonics overall, they were a bit funky, they had that syncopation, but there was a bit of a darkness to it too, maybe even specifically in the melody of the chorus. Nevertheless, the vocals very good. There were some long extensions, including one that seemed to go like double or triple time. So there was one really notable extension. And yeah, ultimately a really interesting track to end the album on, one that had a quirky sound, but again, almost a bit of a darkness in that eccentricity at the same time. So I look forward to hearing people's insights about the lyrics or your thoughts on the sonics. I do have another album from them ready to go, and once again, shout out to Mr. Solo. We will now check what that is. I love how Luca is like, no, you're not really getting up, are you? Yes, hello, hello. I see you. Do you want to get into the chair, or are you going to jump down? With protest, she jumps down. Oh wow, she looks like she might be unhappy. So the next album I have queued up from them is Islands, which is from 1984, 1 year after this. Now, in the moment, I don't know if... In fact, I think there's at least one that I see right here. Nevertheless, I'm assuming there might be one or two tracks that I have already reacted to when I began to go through that Greatest Hits compilation, but obviously I'll figure that out as we go through Islands and skip over any tunes that I've already reacted to, but I'm looking forward to the next chapter, and it's been interesting to hear some people's comments. A couple folks have mentioned that, you know, they were sort of unlucky that they might have hit a bit bigger or, you know, become more of a pop culture phenomenon, but it just didn't quite play out that way, at least to the same degree that some other bands from the same time, and maybe with at least a sound in a similar territory did. So yes, I'm curious to hear more from Kajagoogoo. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.